Hello, and thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not, especially since this is a general reading. All right, we're going to look at what energy is coming in for you. We had a couple cards pop out here. Okay. So we had, the Magician. I love the Magician. This is my second favorite card in the deck. My first favorite card is the Hangman. So this is about empowering yourself, feeling like you are in control, feeling strong, feeling confident, feeling magical, feeling powerful, feeling like you can arrange things and you can put things together to make things happen for yourself. It's about self-empowerment. We also had the 10 of Pentacles, and I like this one because he's putting the pentacle in the jar, and it's almost like these two are going together because it's like getting the ingredients, like for the Magician, that maybe it takes a little time to get each ingredient to make something happen. So it's kind of like taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, finding each ingredient that you need to make things happen for you in your life. So if you're wanting to like change your career or bring more money in, that it's kind of like, it's all of those little pieces of figuring out what it is that you want to do, right? And then saying, okay, do I have the skills to achieve that? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to do online courses? Do I need to gain some more, do I need to start networking? Do I need to get my resume? It's like all of these pieces and parts that need to come together in order to make something happen. And when you do that, you have an immense sense of stability with the 10 of Pentacles that represents abundance. It represents that you have everything that you need. It's like feeling that sense of fulfillment, but yet you're doing it in a healthy way where you still have that sense of stability, right? That you have, it's not like you're trying to attain things to fill a void that's within yourself. That it's because you're feeling good, you're feeling motivated, that you're feeling within yourself that you love yourself and that you're making good choices for yourself and that you're pursuing things that make you happy, you're making your own dreams come true, that you're building your confidence, and like you're attaining these things, or you're feeling this way out of a sense of security within yourself, of confidence within yourself, that you're not, buying something and you're like, oh, okay, well, this will make me feel better. And then it makes you feel better for about 5 seconds. And then it's like, okay, now I feel bad because I spent all this money that I didn't really have on something that I didn't really need, but it felt good to order it, or it felt good to, go after it and then have it. And now that I have it, I don't want it, right? It's not that emptiness there. It's not like empty calories. Like it feels good to eat something with empty calories, but then afterwards you're like, oh, wow, like, should I have done that? Or, then you start having self-doubt. So I feel like this is what's coming in for you, is empowering yourself in a positive way where you feel magical, where you feel powerful, but this is something that you are working on. And then this was the next card. It's like, don't get frustrated with the wait, right? This is kind of the in-between, and it's like embrace the in-between, because this is where you're learning about yourself the most, and this is how you're growing the most within yourself. And that even though you feel like you're tired, even though you feel like you've been through a lot, or like you keep trying and you feel frustrated, but it's like, I feel like things are coming together for you, but like it may not be in the way that you're thinking. It's about self-empowerment. It's about making things happen for yourself. It's about letting go of what doesn't serve you. It's about really looking within yourself and making yourself stronger and saying, I can do this, right? That no matter what challenges come before me, that I can still make things happen, that I'm keeping me as a focus with this 4 of Pentacles. You are focusing on what is important to you and how you can heal you and how you can make yourself stronger. And what are those things that you need to move on from or move away from? I'm kind of looking at the ship there. And it's like, what are those things that you need to distance yourself from? What are those things that you need to maybe move closer to. And I feel like it's kind of giving yourself the world with this globe there. And I feel like it's giving yourself the world and not even realizing that that's what you're doing. When you're cutting out things that don't serve you, and when you're focusing on what's important to you, and you're like embracing the in-between, and you're just taking it one step at a time, and you're doing it in a healthy way, that you are giving yourself the world. You are giving yourself opportunity. You are giving yourself a fresh start. I feel like there's a new beginning coming in for you, without a doubt, but I feel like it's lighter, it's happier, it's joyous, it's silly, it's goofy. It's like showing the lighter side of yourself. Capricorns can be very serious. I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, so I know that. And I've always been very serious, but I've always had this side of me that's very lighthearted and funny and goofy and silly. And I've only shown that to people that I've gotten very close to. Otherwise, I'm serious, and that's okay. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but there was a side of me that wanted to come out, but was too afraid to, or too insecure to. And now it's just like, I just kind of do my thing, right? That if I feel like being silly or goofy, then I can do that. If I feel that that's what I want to do. The other day when I was at the grocery store and I was cashiering, and then I think there was like 15 minutes left to my break. And so the manager person said, do you want to leave early? And I was like, yeah. So then I started like doing a little dance, and like the cashier behind me, she started doing a dance. And then we were like, I was like, I didn't care. I didn't care that there were still people in the grocery store. I was happy. So I did my little, I'm out of work early dance. Right? That's what life is about, is creating those fun moments, about being silly, being goofy, and not being afraid to be who you are. Yeah, there's going to be people who are going to say negative things. They're going to be, because it's almost like they're not able to do that within themselves. So then they don't want to see other people enjoying it and doing it, because they want everyone around them to be miserable. I'm not saying that's what every person is thinking, but that's just my personal feeling, is that, those that are, I've just seen so many negative people, and that they don't like to see other people succeed or be happy. And you have to just block those people out. You just have to be in your own little bubble and be like, okay, I'm going to be happy and silly and goofy right now, and that's okay. Because definitely Capricorn has that side to them, definitely, without a doubt. So it's like, if you want to show that side, then show that silly and goofy side, right? Then we have the Page of Pentacles. So I feel that the Page of Pentacles is like kind of starting on that new path, but I feel like it's very positive, feeling good, feeling happy. It's almost like looking at the world through a new set of eyes, a young, fresh, when you're a kid, you're like, wow, the possibilities are endless. I can be anything. I can do anything. Like, I have all of this time in front of me. I've had my whole life in front of me. Like, what do I want to do? There are no limitations. And I kind of feel like that's kind of the energy is that you're getting into, is that feeling of excitement of like, I can do anything. You can do anything that you set your mind to, that you put your mind to, that you put your energy to, that you put your motivation to. Look for opportunities in areas that you weren't looking before. I was just thinking about an Easter egg hunt, right? Like, when you go for the Easter egg hunt, is that everybody kind of gets all the eggs that are out in front, but it's like, look for the eggs that are in maybe like that aren't easily seen by the eye. Like, look for the eggs that might be hidden, right? That might be in a place that you don't expect. And for some reason, I'm feeling like it's look for those opportunities that normally that you wouldn't normally look in, right? Because I feel like this represents kind of the normal area, like looking for those opportunities, or maybe those emotions or feelings like your normal ones, but go for some different ones, right? Go for some silly ones, go for some goofy ones, or look for opportunities or feelings or emotions in a way that you hadn't looked for them before, right? Like, maybe you feel this is like all of your serious energy here, but you're like, you know what? I know I can be goofy. I know I can be silly, right? Let me start looking at that, and let me start bringing a little bit more of that out. And if you have people that don't like that, then, you know, don't surround yourself by those people. Don't have those people be part of your community. You know, obviously, if we're in a business meeting, like, that's not the time to, you know, it's just like when you feel the time is right to be that way. Like, if in your head you're like doing it because you're like, oh, this is the perfect time. Just like when I, you know, was told that I could, you know, leave work early, like that was the time. Like, it felt right. I'm not saying just to go out and, you know, be in the middle. I don't know, maybe in the middle of a business meeting. I don't know. Whatever you feel is right, however you want to express yourself. And if it, just bringing the lighter side of yourself, right? Maybe cracking a joke, or, you know, maybe speaking up, or, you know, like saying something that, you know, I know a lot of times for me when I was in school is like, I would have the answers to things, or I would know like what it was, but I would be too afraid to speak up because I was so afraid to be noticed. And I would be like, yeah, no, that's, and then nobody would answer. And then the teacher would say the answer. And I was like, yeah, well, I already knew that. Like, but I didn't feel confident enough in myself to be able to speak up or to be able to say something. When I had went back to hairdressing school in my 40s, I did make more of an effort to speak up and to, you know, put myself out there. Not as much as I did, you know, not as much as I would have liked to, but I definitely made more of an effort than I did in high school. And it's just like, this also could just mean that, you know, if you feel that you have something to say, like, speak up and say it. And if you know, like, I feel like it's kind of, instead of being in the background and, you know, but if you feel that you want to contribute to something, or, you know, like, put it out there and say it, and, you know, just feel like you are expressing yourself in a different way. I feel like that's kind of what I was trying to get to, is like expressing yourself in a different way. If you feel that that is right for you. I'm not saying that that's what you have to do, but, you know, being able to feel like you can express yourself in a different way, it gives you a sense of freedom, and it also helps for you to feel more like the person who you really feel on the inside, that you're showing that on the outside. We have the Star card, which is hope and guidance and direction and restoring hope within yourself. That's what I was just saying. It's like really showing the person on the outside that you feel that you are in the inside. Yes, Capricorns are probably going to definitely will keep certain parts of themselves to themselves and only show that to the people that are in their close circle. But, you know, if there's a part of you that would like to express yourself in it more, then go ahead and do it. If that's what you feel is right for you, like, don't hold yourself back. Like, you know, I feel like it's just being able to express who you are and how you feel. It's very freeing. Like, it feels really good, and it feels really freeing. A new way of, I love it. Ace of Swords, perfect card. A new way of analyzing, a new way of looking at things. When you're able to do that, then you feel a sense of freedom. You feel a sense of, you're being true to yourself. You're speaking, you know, your language. You're speaking about yourself. You are empowering yourself, right? You're being that magician, that you're being magical, and you're being powerful, and you're able to express yourself, and you're able to feel like you're truly being you, that you're not hiding yourself. Yes, there are going to be parts of you that you save just for those that are very close to you, and that's fine. But if you feel there's a part of you that you want to express more, I say go ahead and go for it. Follow that intuition with the High Priestess, listening to that inner voice. You know, if this resonates, like, this makes sense to you, if this resonates for you. Like, if this resonates for you, then you're like, yep, I know that inside that I would like to be able to express myself more, or be able to, you know, voice my opinion more, or be able to be a little more lighthearted. That, you know, I know that for me, I would get frustrated with myself because I feel like I'm always so serious all the time. Yes, there's time to be serious, but there's also time to have fun. And I feel like there was that side of me that I wasn't able to show people. And I would like to show that I now feel confident enough to be able to show that side of me to people, which I did at work the other day. And it felt good. it felt good. I was proud of myself. You know, it wasn't anything obnoxious. It wasn't anything crazy or silly. It was just a little happy dance. And that made me feel good. And I felt that that was another way to express a different side of me. And I love that. We have the Strength card, and then we have the Six of Cups. I feel like, again, it's being able to show that different side of you, having the lighter side of, feeling confident to show your silly side or the lighter side of yourself. I feel like this has been coming out a lot for Capricorn, is showing your lighter side. I'm not trying to say anything negative about being serious. You know, that's not what I'm saying. But if you feel there's this other side to you that you want to express, I feel that this reading is saying, go ahead and express it. That is what helps to empower you even more, feeling like you can be you, that you don't have to hold yourself back, that you don't have to worry about judgment from other people. Because if you're being judged by those other people, are they people that are important to you in your life, or they're not important to you? Are they people that maybe you need to start setting boundaries to or moving away from, right? It helps you to see who's really like, who's really your community and who's not. I just feel like it's a sense of freedom, being able to express that different side of yourself. It really is a sense of freedom, and it's a sense of confidence, and to not feeling like you have to conform to what society wants you to be like or look like. All right, we have culmination, completion, and renewal, right? Culmination, working, putting things together, completing things, and a renewal, right? Coming back to life. And we're always learning in life. That's what we have to realize, is that we're always learning in life, and we're always trying to, I always feel like, especially now within the last couple of years, I'm always trying to better myself. I'm always trying to look at things from a different perspective. I'm trying to be open to being more of who. There was this vision of a person that I saw inside my head when I was younger, and who I was on the inside, and who I had in my mind of who I was seeing who Jill was. And now I feel like that Jill is actually coming to life. You know, it's like that version of Jill is finally coming to life. She's finally being the person that I've always seen through all of these decades, that I've always wanted to be, that I always, you know, when you're daydreaming and you're like, oh, you know, kind of thinking in your mind about how, you know, you would react to things, or how something would happen, or, you know, how things would go, or how you would react, and who that person is. And that's what helped me to get through my life. And that's, you know, again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But now I feel like I'm finally being that person on a regular basis. There would be little bits of that girl that would come out here and there, and then she would go back into her turtle shell, and then she would become this other kind of closed off, shut down person. But now, like, she's coming out more and more. And like I said before, like I keep envisioning this egg where it's cracked, and like it's me coming out of the egg, right? And even in my readings, I feel like I'm, you know, freeing myself from doing my readings and having to conform to, okay, I need to be serious. I need to just say the definition of every single card, and I need to do it like this person does it, or that person does it. It took me years to be able to finally say, you know what, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I'm going to do it the way I read the cards and the way I do my readings. And when I'm true to myself, then I create the community that resonates with me and wants to hear my readings. Just like I was thinking, like when I did hair, when I just do hair the way that I do hair. I have my own style, my own way of doing it. And then so you attract the clientele that likes the way I would do hair. And that it's being true to yourself. And that's what I had to realize with my tarot readings, is being true to the way that I want to read them, the way that I want to do them. Stop putting pressure on myself to be like this person or that person, and just do it the way that I want to do it, and have fun with it. Have fun with it, right? That's what I feel. Have fun with it. So let's grab a Whispers of Healing. We have awareness. I feel like it's being aware of how you're reacting to things, and how maybe you're holding yourself back, being aware of, are you holding yourself back in situations? Like being aware of, are you really being true to yourself? Are you speaking your truth? Are you being the person that you are envisioning inside of your head? Being aware of that. It doesn't mean that you have to change yourself all at once. It means that, like, being aware of it and say, okay, what are those things that I can change? What are those things that I can do? What can I start working on now, right? What can I, if I want change, I need to be changed. What can I start changing now? We have starfish spirit, open to infinite possibilities, looking at all different possibilities. And I feel like that goes back to this Four of Cups, where it's like open to infinite possibilities, looking at things from a different perspective, looking at things from a different way, approaching them in a different way, right? Instead of being for me, it was always by the book. It always had to be by the rules. It always had to be the right way. It always had to be lined up. But now it's just like, well, whatever, it is what it is, right? What's ever going to happen is going to happen. And I feel like I'm not as restrained as I was before, feeling like I always had to be perfect. Like it always had to be the perfect way. And I put too much pressure on myself to be that way. And that was definitely something that held me down. And for me, like it's just like, there's so many. I remember when I first had kids, and I remember, like, I had a way of doing things, and then my husband at the time, he would do things a different way. He would, handle the kids in a different way. And I just remember him saying, just because I'm not doing it your way doesn't mean that it's not right. And I just remember him like saying that, and I just like thought about it, and I was like, as long as the kids are safe and they're being fed and they're taken care of, like it doesn't have to, because that was the way that I was, is that it had to be. Because that's what I got from my father. Like it had to be his way, and it had to be the way that he saw it. And so then I was like, okay, well, that's the way it has to be. Like, no, it doesn't. Like there's so many different ways to approach things, just like tarot readings. There's so many different readers, and everybody sees it from their own perspective. Everyone reads it in their own way, and they do it in a way that is right for them, that they feel confident in doing it, right? If you have an end goal, right, that it can be achieved in many different ways. It doesn't have to be, strict and set in one particular way. Obviously there are situations where things have to be, it has to be followed, but I just feel like in general, it's just like, it's a way of self-expression and being true to yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you feel that there's something wrong with it, then I feel like that's where you have to start working on. And that's what you have to start looking at and saying, okay, well, who's making me feel like it's not the right way? And whose rules are we going by? Like who's saying that? And why do I feel that I have to abide by that? We have observer, right? Observing, that's what I was just talking about, is observing as whose rules are we trying to follow? I was always trying to follow my father's rules. Look where that got me. So it's about following your own rules and doing what you feel is right for you. Obviously, if you're not hurting anyone else, but if you feel that a self-expression for yourself, and that's part of you, and that's what you want to do, then there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's what I feel. All right, let's grab a John Holland Psychic Tarot to close out the reading. We have accelerated motion, the 8 of Wands, things speeding up. When you start being true to yourself and you start following your own path, and when you start believing in yourself, and when you start having confidence in yourself, and you start feeling stronger and looking at things from a different perspective and embracing that star card and having that, like, open to the infinite possibilities and having that belief in yourself and seeing things differently and listening to your own intuition, right? And you're having fun with life, and you're saying life doesn't have to be so serious. Let's have some fun times too, right? That life feels like it's speeding up, right? Like when you go on vacation or you're doing something really fun, something that you really enjoy, right? Time goes by like that. You're like, wow, I can't believe how quickly the day went by, right? That when you're in a good mood and when you're feeling motivated and when you're feeling happy and when you're feeling confident, and I feel like we have these two, awareness and observer. When you're being aware of maybe like how you're reacting, how you're feeling, like being aware of your surroundings with these two cards coming out, there's something that's around you that you need to observe or observe within yourself. That when you're in that frame of mind, how quickly does the day go by, right? How quickly does time seem like it flies by? And that you're like, wow, that was such a fun day, right? That was such a good time. That was such a fun day. The day went by so fast because what frame of mind were you in? What energy were you in? What were you doing? How were you feeling, right? But when you have those days where you feel like, oh my gosh, the day is dragging. I don't think I'm ever going to get through this day. Being aware and observing, okay, what frame of mind are you in? What kind of energy do you have around you, right? What is it that you're doing? If you're doing something that you don't enjoy, like, is it something that you can change, right? Can you approach it in a different way? That was definitely for me. Like before, when I was working at the grocery store, I was angry about having to be there. And because I didn't want to be there, I wanted to do other things. And so I was taking that out. And so literally within my shift, I realized I was being angry. And so I turned that around, and the energy from people coming through my lane changed. It, without a doubt, within a second, within that very second that I changed my attitude, everything turned around, everything changed immediately. Like, and I did it again. When I went back to the grocery store to reapply and go back to the job, I went in knowing that, okay, I need to have a better attitude. And I did. And there was one day that I kind of faltered. I was angry about having to be there, didn't want to be there. And when the cashier said to me, you know, are you okay? Like, she didn't really want to tell me. And I was like, what's going on? She's like, you don't seem like yourself. Which I love the fact that my new self was showing that I was a happy, positive person. But then I was mad at myself because I slipped back into that angry, irritated person. And I immediately switched my energy and the people coming through my line. Because before that, people coming through my line were kind of, you could feel like this negative energy. And when I changed my energy, the people that were coming through my lane seemed more positive, seemed happy. I was having fun conversations with people. Time went by quicker. I enjoyed it more, and the rest of the day went really quick. The first hour was rough because I was not in a good frame of mind. I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Being aware, observing what kind of energy are you going into that situation with, right? If you're at a job that you don't like, or you're in a situation that you don't like, that when it's like you're working against yourself when you go in with that negativity. But when you go in and say, okay, this is a situation, right? That this is where I have to be. This is what I have to do at this moment and at this time. And I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to try and be silly or funny or lighthearted. And I'm just I'm going to be thankful for, like, for me, I'm thankful that it's a job and that I'm making money and it's an opportunity, and I get to meet all different kinds of people, and I get to have conversations with people, and I get to, hopefully, put a smile on their face, make them feel good. To help them get on with their day. And, I'm paying my bills. So it's just switching about what your mindset is can make your day so much easier and so much better. And that's something that I just feel like this is saying, that to give yourself that guidance, right? To give yourself that hope and say, maybe right now you're not at the place where you want to be, right? Whatever that may represent, but that you'll get through this and you will get past this. And when you have that mindset of feeling positive, then you start doing those things that can help you get to where you want to be, and say, okay, this is just temporary, right? This is just temporary. I'm just working through this right now until I get to the place where I want to be. And once I'm at that place, if I want to achieve something else, then that's temporary until I get to the next one. knowing that you can change anything that you want to, that you set your mind to, right? But you have to have that mindset and that belief that you are powerful and you can create anything that you want to create. You can create that abundant, amazing life that you want to create. You just have to be aware of how you are approaching it and how you are being. And are you giving yourself guidance and direction, or are you holding yourself back, right? Being aware of that, how powerful that you are. All right. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you're still hanging in there with me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.